I used to serve in government in the Reagan administration. I was in the State Department for a couple of years, and I was the president's Soviet Affairs advisor for 4 years at the National Security Council in the White House. And I found a lot of people were doing jobs for which they weren't completely prepared. And in spite of having a double major from Berkeley and a PhD from Johns Hopkins School of Advanced International Studies, I was one of those who was not fully prepared to do my jobs. And so I had been teaching at Georgetown University, moonlighting while I was in the government. And I tried to get Georgetown to fill the gaps in the curriculum, to get it, particularly in the study of the different arts of statecraft, the instruments of national power, military strategy, diplomacy, public diplomacy, strategic influence, political warfare, intelligence, counterintelligence, economic strategy, etc. And how we liken, these are like instruments in an orchestra, and you have to learn to play your instrument well, but you also have to be an integrated strategic thinker so that you realize you're part of an orchestra and you don't work at cross purposes with the others. And so Georgetown, my program director there thought that he loved the idea, but he told me I would have an academic turf war if I tried to set this up within the university. So I decided I didn't want a turf war, and I started an independent graduate school. And everybody said, well, why don't you go do this with some other university? And I said, well, these universities have deteriorated. They're extremely partisan. They're extremely ideological, and they wouldn't be friendly to the study of things like counterintelligence and, the different elements of intelligence, for example, covert action. One should learn something about that if you're going to go into that profession. And so we got going independently. It was a long, long march to get independent accreditation. But our faculty are almost all scholar practitioners. We have intelligence officers, we have military officers, we have ambassadors, we have presidential advisors, former senior Capitol Hill staffers, people who've actually done what they teach. And so we offered the first degree in strategic intelligence, for example.